If this doesn't work, I'm out 1,500 bucks. But she's here. We've got what we need to finish the power core. All right, I have the Bluetti Charger 2 DC hub. I have a Bluetti B300K 2764 watt hour expansion battery that is going to connect from this cable into the Charger 2 in my Jeep. So the idea here is B300K is going to be the hub, like the meat and potatoes of this power, right? So this is going to basically charge everything. It's going to charge my car battery. It's going to charge my Bluetti Elite 100 V2. It's going to power the DC hub. And then the DC hub, using this Anderson port, is going to go to the back of my Jeep, and it's going to power everything back there. It's going to power my refrigerator. It's going to power my rooftop tent. It's going to power my lights. It's going to power everything I have in the back there. And it's all going to feed from this B300K, from my alternator, or from my solar panels, or whatever I set up with it. But first things first, and I'm excited for this because I've been waiting a while. I've had this image in my head, and now we've got to put it in the Jeep and get it all plugged in and take a look at the app, and we'll do it together. And I know, trust me, I know when I say that, like, this thing is going to take up my entire back end of my Jeep, the goal is to eventually cover this up with a backseat delete. I'm going to do a 60-40, like I have a 60-40 split. I'm going to leave the driver's side seat just in case my wife and daughter come along with me somewhere. So I'll have 3 seats. And behind the passenger seat, the middle seat and behind the passenger seat, that's going to go. We're going to put some plywood down, which is going to cover this up, cover all of that up. It's going to sit underneath the seat. And then on top of the seat, I'll have storage. So that's the plan. But for now, just to kind of test it out, and we're going to run like it for a little bit, we're going to see how this thing fits, and we're going to go do that right now. So come along. Now you're going to hear me grunting and everything. See, so this is 60 some pounds, right? The idea, right, obviously from the beginning was, we're going to put it here, but that ain't going to work. Because, well, we don't have the room for it, so everything's got to go on the seat. Because I thought, we can put it here, but not enough room here either. She's a big girl. So for now, she's going on the seat, just like the Elite 100. Not much else. Not much else of an option. We'll be able to still maneuver things around, but she's in. She's here on the back seat. This is her new home for now, until I get rid of this, right? I'm going to get rid of the back seat, at least this part of it, and then we'll get her mounted on here, right? Whether it's mounted on a platform, or if I can get one high enough and get her underneath. That's what we're gonna do. But for now, I'm gonna come around to the other side, and we're gonna do some bolts and things. Should be pretty quick from here. Charger 2 is already installed. Just gonna connect some things in, and then we're gonna turn the vehicle on and see what it looks like. So we're gonna install the charger, or the DC hub. DC hub shouldn't be too hard. We've got cables here. So we'll just put her over here for now. Run this cable over here. We've got a red, a black, and we've got our communications. Gonna get the cover off. Now, I don't have her disconnected from the battery, so this is live. So we're not gonna mess with that. I'm not trying to unplug anything here. We're trying to plug new stuff in. So that's loose, that's loose. And we've got negative and positive. Okay, that's tightened up too. Okay, those are tight in. Communications are in. Now, the next thing is our cable to plug into our Elite, or not Elite, our BK300. And we're going to run our cable in right there. We've got some battery terminals here. It's interesting how large these are. Like, these are large enough. These are large enough that you could fit 6-gauge wire in there. It's pretty wild there. Okay, so we're going to plug in our BAT connections. That's positive. Right, negative. And our communications plugged in. All right. So now that that is all in there, we literally can just put her back in. Oh, hold on. Before we worry about any of that, we got to put our cover back on. Let's be good. So now we have we have everything plugged in now on this charger too. All the way from, we have our car battery plugged in on the far left side. Well, far left side. The farthest left side is the D plus cable, which has been working well. You can go to my original video of my Charger 1 to Charger 2 upgrade, and I have the part there from Amazon. I have the link in there. It's not like a make money Amazon link, so I'm just doing that because I want to help you guys out. So my D plus connector, that works with the D plus cable. Then we have our PV charger for our power station. Then we have our satellite charger for satellite charging. And we have our DC hub. And then we have our B300K. So that is all plugged in now. Put that there. We're going to go underneath the seat, because I'm going to show you here. Here's where we're put the seat down. Battery expansion port. It doesn't seem like it matters which one we go into. So I'm just going to go into, let's see, we're going to unlock, and plug in that way, and then lock. Oops, sorry camera. And then another question now is, like, this DC hub, right? Can I put it on this side? Okay, there we go. All right, so we have the DC hub, the B300K. Everything's plugged in. The only thing I don't have plugged in, which I could do right now, is like a test. This is my Starlink Mini. Nothing's plugged in right now. Let me get my phone. We're going to connect to the Charger 2. It is in sleep mode because the vehicle's not on. I am going to power it on because I'm interested to see what happens now. Okay, 51%. I am interested in what is going on right now because we're pulling 5 watts out of the B300K. It is at 51%, and I'm going to actually start the car now. Let's see what happens when I turn it on. All right, the vehicle's on, and if you look here, you can see that battery is like about halfway, 50 some percent. An interesting thing here. Well, my DC hub's not on. Can I hit the power button? No, I can't hit the power button. Okay, so DC is on. That Bluetti battery is getting charged 572 watts. The DC panel is on. So yeah, I mean it's going. Well, and just like that, we're up and running. That was pretty quick. The DC panel is turned on. You can see here, DC panel's turned on. Bluetti, the battery. If I click on that, our power, our voltage is 53.7. Current is 10 amps. It's pulling from our battery, 14.3 volts, 38.8 amps, 556 watts. I don't know if there's anything else that I'm supposed to do different here. There is an upgrade on the B300K BMS. So we'll upgrade that. So that's interesting that the Charger 2, if you have an expansion battery, you upgrade the firmware inside of the BMS. The BMS firmware gets upgraded from the Charger 2's page. I'll go through everything I did in here. I've got the Elite 100 V2. That's what I started with. I wanted a way of charging it in the vehicle, so I got a Charger 1, right, which actually is... The Charger 1 is actually right here. I ran that for a little bit, realized that that was going to do what I needed it to do. The only thing I didn't like about it was that I had no way of introducing solar into that system. Right, I basically would have to unplug my power station, plug in solar panels, unplug the solar panels, plug in the charger. So if I ever wanted to mount solar panels to the top of my truck, I wouldn't be able to do so. It would, I'd have to constantly be playing with cables. Now I have the ability to, with the Charger 2 upgrade done, now I don't have to choose, right? Now I can mount solar panels on the top of my vehicle or on the front of me or wherever. I can run those into the Charger 2 and they will just be connected. Now I also have the 2,700 watt hours of battery with the B300K. I got that. That was my next big upgrade, right? So I went Elite 100 V2, Charger 1. Got rid of Charger 1, got Charger 2. Charger 2 and the Charger 2 DC hub allows me to now expand that DC system outside of the Bluetti ecosystem, right? Now I can take an Anderson cable and I can run an Anderson cable to the bed of my truck into a DC power distribution hub that I can put together with some stuff on Amazon, which I'll show in another video. Mount that in the back, and now I can plug all my DC into the back of that. And it's going to pull from the B300K. Now, hopefully, what I'm hoping is that this B300K will stay powered on. Oh, that's nice. So after the BMS was upgraded, now we're getting 792 watts of charge instead of 560. So now this thing is charging everything, except the one thing I don't understand right now. My DC panel disappeared. I don't know why. Did anybody else notice that? So if I go to all devices, right? I gotta scan. Hold on. Let me fix this. I gotta fix this. Added. I don't know why it disconnected. Maybe because now it's... I like that the DC hub also can do a firmware upgrade on the B300K. It might have been because I plugged it into B300K. So I can turn DC on. And there we go. That's working now. I'm recording all of this on my screen. So I'll chop this up and everything. I only have like 10% battery left on my microphone, so I might have to change it up in a little bit. Notice how the DC hub knows what's plugged into it, right? It knows the Anderson port's not plugged in, but it knows the Type C2 is plugged in, and it's getting 13 watts right now. That's coming from my Starlink that is in the vehicle. Everything's shown percentage battery, like the Charger 2. This probably could... The only thing I don't like is it's not going to tell me... it's not going to tell me how long until the B300K is charged. The Elite 100 V2, when it starts charging, it'll tell me But you know what? Maybe I need to add the B300K. Be right back. We'll add that in. We're gonna scan it. Well, that's disappointing. I guess you can't bind the B300K. So I don't really know. I don't know how long it's gonna take to charge it up. I imagine it'll be a bit. I mean, it's a 54%, 762 watts when it's 2,700 watt hours. So you figured if we look at that, it's probably gonna take about 4 hours to charge up. Let me check Starlink. Starlink is connected. It's running like 30 some watts. Starlink Mini is amazing as far as power consumption goes. Using like 30 some watts in its low power or low speed state. If I were to hook my laptop in, I think we're gonna be ready. I think we're gonna be ready to do my job remotely. That's what we're gonna be figuring out here. Like, am I gonna be sitting up in my rooftop tent? I'm gonna have like a little bed tray, right, with my laptop up in my rooftop tent. If it's cold, have the heater going, sitting up there, just plugged in, connected to Starlink, and working. You know, if it's nice out, we'd be out sitting in a camp chair with a table, you know, working remote. And then on days that I'm not working, we're traveling. Like weekends, stuff like that, we're traveling. During the week, we're traveling. Okay, so before this thing disconnects, because once this disconnects, it's over. But we are completely plugged in. The only thing I'm missing is my solar. Which, heck, I mean, there's not enough sun, but we'll try it. Why not? No, we won't try it. We won't try it. So to review what we've done to kind of explain what's going on in the app right now, we have 766 watts coming from my vehicle's battery, the alternator. It's flowing into the charger too. It is charging my B300K battery, expansion battery, and it is also feeding the DC panel to run my Starlink. Now, if I were to turn the vehicle off, this is what I want to test now. If I turn the vehicle off, does the DC stay on? Oh, that's quick. Okay, so with the D plus cable in there, this is what I was wondering. So as you can see now, it's pulling 0 watts from my vehicle's battery. It is now pulling from my Bluetti expansion, the B300K battery, and it is still feeding the DC hub. Right, now this is what I'm going to need to test on, because I want to see, is this thing going to go into sleep mode? The charger 2, right? If I leave it on, will it just stay on forever? If the B300K dies, will it start draining from my vehicle battery? These are all questions that I don't know answers to, but hopefully will. Yeah, so look, my power is 0 watts coming from the battery. We got 13 volts. Was it 25 watts or so? 20 volts coming from a Type C. This is nice. So now I'm gonna plug in the Bluetti Elite 100 V2. Let's get that plugged in. There's some battery here to charge up. So now the Elite 100 V2, you can see now it is pulling 6 watts, 40 watts. There it goes. So now you can see that the Bluetti battery is pulling 600 watts, and it's charging the Elite 100 V2. Now, well, it's spiked up and coming down. So the B300K is doing basically all the work of the vehicle battery, and that's all being done right from inside of my Jeep. So now I have an ecosystem, as you can see. Like, I love it. Like, I have a system here. I have my vehicle battery, which my B300K and the Charger 2 turn into the heart of the system, right? The B300K can actually charge the vehicle battery. The DC panel can run from the B300K. The DC panel can also run from the vehicle battery, or the alternator. Sorry, not the vehicle battery, but the alternator. I'm going to show you more, but that's it so far. So there you go. I'm going to have to turn the vehicle back on, let this battery charge up. Because here's another test we'll do. And now that everything's turned off and the B300K is charging my power station, I want to see, whenever I turn the vehicle on, that D plus cable Soon as that detects 12 volt, it should switch everything over and start charging the power station and the Bluetti battery, I believe. It might still pull from the Bluetti battery into the power station. So we'll find out. Here's our test. Jeep is on. So there you go now. Now we are pulling 760 some watts, 750 watts from the battery, 540 watts from the Bluetti battery, and 235 watts into the power station. So now you can see the entire system working. The battery is, my car battery, my alternator is charging the Bluetti battery, and it's charging the power station. And it's running the DC panel. And you can see, based on the dotted lines, right, the green line coming from the alternator into the charger 2, and then those yellow dotted lines running from the charger 2 down to the power station into the Bluetti B300K and into the DC panel. Now you can see where the power is flowing. So this is doing exactly what I wanted it to do, and this has me now excited for video number 3. So now that we know that video number 3 is ready, because we've tested our systems here, we are going to, next video number 3 is going to be running the cable. Anderson cable in the back. I'm gonna build a little power station here. I'm probably gonna go buy the parts today. That way Amazon can get them here by the end of the week, so I can get your video out. We'll build the power station in here. Probably do it in like a little ammo can, right? We'll do an ammo can DC hub, because remember, I don't need a big Milwaukee pack out because I'm not putting a battery in it. All I'm doing is running fuses, and then running cigarette lighters and USBs and other things like that from that. So I'm going Anderson port into this ammo can, and then I'm gonna have DC outputs there that I'll then mount onto the bed somewhere, probably on the side wall or something of the bed. That'll be video number 3. And I think I'm gonna go buy a mini fridge, a 12-volt fridge as well, just to get that. And we're gonna get this party started. That's stupid. Get this party started. All right. Okay. Now my question here now is, why did the DC hubs turn off? That's my only fear. Is why that turn off. All right, I'm gonna end this video. The Bluetti ecosystem is installed and we are good to go. Well, that's gonna wrap up this video. Part 3 is gonna be more power, more expansion, and we're gonna do it right. What do you think? Did I make a right call? I think it's money well spent into the Bluetti ecosystem. I think it's gonna be it's a good investment, and I think it's gonna do exactly what I needed to do. Do you agree with me? If not, if you do, leave a message, leave a comment, and I'd like to have a conversation. So I'll catch you guys later. Take care.